the Dreamcast. Shut it off! Shut it off! Alright, let's do this again from the safety of an emulator. AeroWings, released in Japan under the much more delightful title Aero Dancing featuring Blue Impulse, is a, well, I wouldn't call it a flight simulator really. It's not a flight combat game either. There's not a single bullet to be fired, not a single rocket to be shot. Aerobatics, that's what it's supposed to be. Flying information and stuff. Colored smoke. Anyway, it was developed by CRI, which is short for CSK Research Institute. I'm not gonna bother looking up what CSK stands for, but that CRI will possibly be familiar to you because it eventually evolved into this middleware you see the logo of in about half the games you play. Now, this might be a very controversial statement to make, but war is bad. Weapons of war, therefore, are also bad. However, deadly as they are, jet fighters are rad as fuck. Intricate machines that can do cool ass maneuvers and shit. I think maybe that's one of the reasons aerobatics, which is still a dumb as hell word to say out loud, appeals so much to the inner child, imagining how nice it is to do sick aerial stunts in these incredible machines without also having to bomb hospitals filled with innocent children. What a fantasy. The main mode of AeroWings consists of 20 missions of training, and only training, to join Blue Impulse, the official aerobatics team of the Japanese Air Force. You look at a briefing.
When you reach the top of the loop and begin descending, don't let your speed go too high. Adjust it with your air brakes if necessary.
Give it an honest shot.
Hey, nice technique.
And then get graded in the debrief.
Okay, good. Too many G's. High altitude. Pretty good.
20 times. Well, a lot more than 20 times. The missions start off laughably simple. Mission 1 is taking off from the runway. Mission 2 is making a turn. But it's not long until you're asked to fly in formation with other aircraft, and the difficulty spikes up rapidly. The margins are very tight. The UI and controls don't make it trivial to match speed or turns, and once you're past mission 10 and you get an upgraded T4, the maneuvers get quite complex. The missions themselves are thankfully very short, but we need to talk about Shinji. Shinji is the team leader of Blue Impulse. Shinji guides you and grades you throughout your training. Shinji is a total bastard.
Hey, are you asleep? Hey, oh!
His tone is grating even when commanding you to do the simplest of things.
Smoke on! Take off! Landing gear up!
And because the game is hard, he'll be berating you often.
Hey, are you out of your mind?
But when you do good and he has praise,
Hey, nice technique.
thanks, Daddy Shinji. The difficulty lies just as much in figuring out what the game wants you to do as in actually doing it. Now, I emulated it, and I played it on this busted old Xbox One controller with fully worn out sticks, so there's potentially an argument to be made that the flight physics were tweaked specifically for the Dreamcast Hall effect stick. I have my doubts though. Either way, I've spent too much of my life already being a quitter. I don't know how, really, I don't. But perseverance paid off again and I completed my training. The reward? This patch and another plane. That's it. There's no shows you get to do with the team or anything like that. The training in these 20 short missions on this single map with 2 variations of the same aircraft is the entirety of this part of the game. But what's weird is that the game does have more content. The other main mode is called Sky Mission Attack, and it's basically just flying in large open levels in environments such as island, dam, city, desert, city at night, and so on. The point is to fly through rings, and get enough points within a certain amount of time. That's it, that's all there is to it. But doing this well allows you to unlock more planes. It almost feels like a game. There is a certain kind of challenge to figuring out the ring layout on each map, and some of them will require more agile or faster aircraft to do it all within the time limit, but that's all there is to it. You get some fun unlocks like this dolphin, and a dune buggy, but yeah, that's the game. That's pretty much all of it. There's also multiplayer, but I don't have any friends that want to play this game with me. And of course there is the requisite free flight mode, which might get you the closest to that kind of free-flowing chill Pilot Wing 64 vibe that AeroWings can offer. Regarding the presentation, well, it looks like a launch window Dreamcast game. I'll leave it at that. There is this cool effect if you fly up high enough, where you can see that the entire map is tiled infinitely in all directions, which looks kinda cool, but so what? The music's also pretty nice. AeroWings received a couple of sequels, AeroWings 2 Airstrike on the Dreamcast and Aero Elite Combat Academy on the PS2. But as their titles indicate, they are combat-centric and therefore immediately less interesting to me. AeroWings is a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. Did they really not have used those extra environments to let me do some air displays with the team? There's a very solid foundation here for a good aerobatics game, but they just forgot to build a house on top of it. As it is, it's kind of like a promotional disc you'd get for visiting the Blue Impulse Team Museum or something. So I'm forced to rate the game
Just so-so.